Hey there, everybody. In this video, we're going to talk about the new comic coming from Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. Follow up there, Run on Venom. So, let's jump into everything that we know. So, leading up to, last night, we're recording this on June the 24th. So, this would have happened on June 23rd. We got a few cryptic tweets from Donny and Stegman. One showing a logo for what is called KLC Press, Kids Love Chains Press, and another one with another logo that looked like some sort of bird or plane with their names. It said "Coming Soon." This was all leading up to a live stream on Ryan Stegman's podcast / YouTube channel called Stegman and His Amazing Friends. During this, the two discussed a lot about their run on Venom, Venom 200, King in Black, all these things that they're very well known for at this point because it was a great run. And then the question came up, what is next? And they gave us some details on what is next. So we're going to start by talking about just those details. First, we got an image that is the main cover of the book. And it shows a figure, think the darkness, but maybe a little bit more twisted. And his hands are bloodied, and there's obviously a dead body underneath him. Eyes going red. Very 90s Image Comics feel. And Donny and Stegman both said that was kind of their inspiration for this book, was 90s Image Comics. And just 90s comics in general, to be quite honest. So we got that. We're told that that's going to be the lead character of the book, which is interesting because later on we get more details that will tie into all this. And then we got some alternate covers, one by Scotty Young that shows the same figure in a Scotty Young fashion. I love this cover because Scotty Young is known for like the baby Marvel stuff, and Donny even makes a joke about having to pay him extra not to draw a baby. But Scotty's also done some really amazing comics. His Wizard of Oz comics are really good. His style just fits that genre. And then one of my favorite books, probably ever, I Hate Fairyland, where he draws a lot of figures similar to this in that book. So I'll be interested in that cover. It's a really nice cover. And then one by Daniel Warren Johnson, who's currently doing the Beta Ray Bill book. He's done Wonder Woman, Dead Earth, I think it was called, and a few others as well. Very his style. We get a look at another figure above our main character that has Venom-esque like things going on. But he has some sort of darkness on him. We've got kind of tentacles coming out of some sort. They look like shade tentacles, hinting that maybe he is some sort of figure to deal with light and dark or something like that. But we got that covered. So that's another alternate cover. It looks really awesome. And then they showed... I don't believe this was a cover. I'm pretty sure they said that this was a image, like a promo image or possibly interior of a group of superheroes. This is where the 90s feel really starts to sink in. This really does get kind of 90s vibe for me. There's a figure on the electrical wires above. You can see them kind of dropping down. Very dark figure. I personally believe that's the same figure from the Daniel Warren Johnson cover, but we will see. I'm speculating here. We get a Robin-esque figure, a guy who seems to be doing either magic or possibly, it's hard to tell because there's nothing really between his hands, but it almost looks like he's magical in ability. A like Black Widow, Spider-Woman-esque character, and then a Superman-esque character. And I want to point out here that he has an upside-down eye on his chest. I think that's a big hint for something that we'll talk about later. I also think it's hilarious that the dot of the eye is right over his crotch. I'm shocked that Donny and Stegman did not make a joke about that during the live stream, but I think it's hilarious. So these are all the images we got, along with the name of the book, and kind of the design for the title. The book is called Vanish. We didn't get much in story details. We didn't get anything in publisher details. All that we know is that that character that we talked about earlier is the main character, and that the other characters we showed were some sort of superheroes. So that leads to speculation. So that's basically everything we know. Also, we know it is an ongoing book, which is interesting. I mean, Stegman is very good at keeping deadlines for the most part, but I will be shocked if we get 12 issues of this a year. I think sticking around 10, 11 a year will probably be the safe bet, just to keep your expectations in check. So, let's jump into some speculation talk. So, we got this book, we got some images around it, and that's all we have to go on. So, first, let's talk publisher. Who could possibly be publishing this book? Donny has worked with, well, first of all, Stegman, to my knowledge, has only worked with Marvel. I could be wrong about that. I probably am wrong about that, but I know majority of his work is at Marvel. So I'm going to lean more towards Donny's past. He has done a book with Dark Horse called The Paybacks. Wasn't very well received at the time, but has seen a renaissance since Donny kind of became the superstar that he is today. And then obviously he's done a bunch of work with Marvel. We all know that. But I think the big red flag here, I think the obvious choice for publisher here is Image. Donny's done a bunch of stuff with Image. He's done stuff with Skybound side of Image, and then Image proper. And I think two things here. The Kids Love Chains Press, I personally believe, is Donny and Stegman kind of putting their foot in the door to create a new imprint inside of Image. And if I was Image Comics, I would gladly welcome those two into the fold to do their own imprint, to bring in more creators and do their stuff at Image. Second, as I talked about earlier with that one superhero character, the Upside Down Eye, some people may feel it's misleading, but I personally believe that that's a very obvious them poking fun at Image and them kind of showing a little hint of what they're doing. I don't know. I believe Donny's done stuff with like heavy metal, and maybe some other smaller publishers. But I think that this book has, just from the images we've gotten, has an obvious home at Image. They're obviously taking a lot of inspiration from 90s Image and the original boom of Image when they were first created with Wildcats and Spawn and all these things. I mean, the imprint's called Kids Love Chains Press. So that's my personal opinion there. We'll see what happens with that. But I would be shocked if it's anyone but Image. Next, story. What could this book be about? Well, we have that lead character with the really cool cape. Somebody jokingly said piano cape. It seems to me from the images we got that character is some sort of villain. And then we're shown later on that there is superheroes in this world. So either we have a very heavy anti-hero vibe going on in this new world that they're creating, or what I feel, as somebody who's followed Donny for so long, he loves to explore the depths of things of comics in particular, that he may feel, and I would probably agree, aren't very well portrayed. And one of those things is the villain side of the story. And I'm not even saying, like, yeah, we've gotten villains turned hero, we've gotten villain stories, we've gotten Magneto, who's kind of a complex villain and not really a villain. I personally believe that from the images we got, we're looking at a book that's going to be full on, this is the villain as the main character. No bones about it. I think on page 1, he's going to make it clear that this is a bad dude. And that he is the one that is evil in this world. but he is going to be the character that we follow through his progression. And if that's the case, I think that's an awesome idea, especially exploring it through that lens of that style of early 90s comics where everything was a little bit extreme, a little bit over the top, a little more gory, a little bit more this and that, and actually diving into that world and saying, like, here's a bad guy, and this is what he does, and what... I'm not even necessarily thinking, like, the downtime of Joker, but, like, what if we really followed Joker and his planning and his... what he did in his downtime, and it wasn't just about Batman catching him, but about Joker possibly defeating the bad guys. As I'm saying this, books like Wanted come to mind, and it seems like this Dark Ages book that's come from Marvel come to mind. So, yes, I'm aware that it's not a solely new concept, that nobody has done it, but I feel like it's underutilized enough where there's still enough to grind out of that to do something cool. And I believe that the proof to that is really crossover, where Donny took an idea of, like, what if all these worlds crossed over in our world? Something that, like, comic book fans talked about over and over again, and made it a thing and did something cool with it. And we all, most of us, love that book and are really excited for it to go forward. And he can do something similar here, where he just explores the truly bad dude. Once again, this is all speculation. I could be way off on this. I will say, because of my habits in comics, as soon as you said Donny Cates, I was buying at least the first arc. As soon as you said Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, I was definitely buying the first arc. And I have faith that this team will bring something cool together. So everybody, keep your eyes locked. Make sure to pay attention, because I'm sure in the near future we're going to get a big announcement about what this book is, where it's going to come from, and when we're going to be able to get our hands on it. Now, if you are enjoying the videos here, remember to subscribe down below, hit the thumbs up button to let me know that you enjoyed the video, or a thumbs down if you're not enjoying it. I don't know, maybe you don't like me. And if you're enjoying everything else we're doing here at Fortress Comics, make sure to check out the other videos, our top fives, and of course the podcast Fortress Comic News, where we interview creators every week and talk about everything that's going on in the world of comics. And I'm sure this will pop up very soon on that podcast as well. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you here soon.